right. So let's look into what skills and strengths specifically mean. So skills is the ability that come from specific training and experience and can be learned, where your strengths are personal attributes you have cultivated over time. And we're actually going to look at some skills and strengths on the screen where you can kind of take in that a little bit more. You might even discover some things about yourself that you're not considering in this moment. So we're going to share that today. And you'll be able to kind of, what I like to say, cherry pick some things that kind of stick out for you. So let's take a look here. Now, our first step today is to review the list of skills and strengths from the inventory. And this is going to be a time that you'll want to make sure that you have a document ready so that you can do some really deep reflection here. So some of these you might not even thought of, but yeah, look through them and see what ones that kind of just resonate with you. So you'll write down and highlight or even circle the things that you know to be your skills and strengths. When you think of future work, select 3 skills or strengths that you believe are important as well. And in addition to extracting those that resonate to you the most, I would like you to think about future work and select 3 skills or strengths that you believe are important. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go through a group coaching exercise. So we're going to work on this collectively together here. So you'll be able to reflect on why that skill and strength would matter to your future employer. How can you apply it to your future employer? And again, really think about how that can translate into other roles as well. So consider it as a, the transferable skill. So the first thing to keep in mind, what is one skill or strength that you possess? So next, when utilizing that skill or strength, what did that enable you to do successfully in your workplace? So as an example, the ability to train seasonal staff, you could say, I am skilled at quickly training a large number of new staff. So again, what did that skill or strength enable you to do successfully in your workplace? How are you able to show off your skill or strength? Also, what outcomes resulted from your skill or strength? How would you elaborate on that benefit that you provided your organization? So that how did that outcome or result benefit your employer or business? And on the flip side of that, what would have happened if your skill or strength was absent from your employer or business? What if that wasn't accessible to them? Next, what is different because of your skill or strength? How did you reshape things at your previous employer or current employer or business? Now, to gain more insight on that, who is a person you can ask about your observation of your skill and strengths? There's someone that can kind of give some insight there on those. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take some time to really consider what we put together here. So take a moment to read over what you wrote down for each question. So now you have an opportunity to restate your skill or strength and connect it to why the skill or strength is important to your future employer. So my colleague now is going to share an example of an outcome of that skill or strength and why it is important for your next employer.
Yeah, thanks, Ashanda. So one of the stories that I love to talk about and share is a story of where I tapped into my strength and love for learning. I was in a job that kind of left me feeling blah at the end of the day beginning of the day, middle of the day. So I started looking to my strengths for ways to find a way to bring joy and also prepare for whatever it is that was next. PS, like this job is what was next. So one of the things that I identified that I love to do was I loved learning. I loved spending time gathering information, watching videos, reading blogs, and I love learning about like leadership and about how people prepare for what it is that's next. So each day, what I started to do, like in a bit of job crafting, I knew that I had like 30 minutes of kind of like flexible time most every day that I could spend in the morning just reading, learning about things. So I bookmarked blogs that I would check on the regular, podcasts that I could listen to while I was sorting through emails, and started to practice my ability to take this impact. And I was using it like at work at the time. And in the end, I turned this like strength, this skill that I have into something that wasn't just for my previous role as a program coordinator. Instead, I started to apply it as a coach. I started to apply it specifically as a career coach. What I do with this work is I'm always reading about what different trends there are that's going on, what skills are important for people. And I still use that learner skill, that learner strength with me today, so that when I'm having conversations, when I'm doing presentations, I am like on top of whatever I can be and sharing this knowledge with others in the process. So, this is a way that you can continue to do something similar to this, find ways to bring your strengths into your work and recognize like how this is going to be beneficial for the organization you currently work for and for whatever it is that might be next. This so ikigai is something that I love to refer to when it comes to like figuring out you're like, okay, like I know what I'm good at, but like what does that mean?
Mhm.
And this is like a Japanese way of kind of like finding the intersection of like, I mean, this is an attempt at like finding your life's purpose or like what you should be doing like in your job and work, but as a way to continue to find those intersections of like what you're good at, what you love. So like skills and strengths kind of fall in these categories, what the world needs, and then like what you can be paid for. So it's a fun way to reframe and look at that and make it maybe a little bit less complicated and
Mhm.
understand like what are some of the places that you can find these intersections. But
I will say, I know a lot of us come from customer service backgrounds, which means
Mhm.
a lot of us have flexibility, tolerance, the ability to read people. But one of the things I struggle with is putting those into words. Like,
mm,
how do you verbalize the skills that you have?
Mhm. I feel like keywords that's associated with opportunities, make them a part of your language too, to expand upon that where it can fit in several industries and not just that initial one. So I'm not even going to put myself in a position to think of a word that can go into another space, but really look at different positions that correlate, that's parallel to customer service. You know what I mean? So I will give an example. I did customer service like forever. Like, I don't know if it was forever, but that was some of my initial work was customer service, right? But now that translate into the coaching that I do, that translate into all my psychology studies, you know, I always wanted to support people, and now it's showing up in different ways in different industries. Does that make sense? All right. So now that you have an example of the value behind one of your skills and strengths, or you can leverage the rest of the skills and strengths inventory. So in addition to all the other things that Kyle have shared here, to really think through examples and the impact of your skills and strengths. And remember, it can translate into several different industries or roles. So always keep that in mind for sure. So keep thinking about how you can communicate, as you were just asking, Courtney, those skills and strengths throughout your application and interview process. And as you're looking at job descriptions, what do you see? What is shouting out to you of, the requirements or the job duties or the expectations? What are they specifically asking for? And do you see your skills and strengths listed there? And are they showing up in different vocabulary and different words? But it's very likely that they could still be there. And how can you communicate those things? Definitely practicing them for sure, but really making sure that it's become a second language for you, communicating those things. So as a reminder, why do your skills and strengths matter? So again, the short answer is because of the results that they enable and the needs that they fill. And what makes your skills and strengths transferable is the impact that they made on your employer or business. And use today's methods as well as the additional resources that's provided to you to help you build out other answers to your strengths and your skills, because you have a lot of them, right? As you all discovered in the breakout rooms. So take your time, be patient with that process, and see how you can work with that. And these can be the back pocket resources for you as you move forward. So also, SkillUp has a frontline website that we're going to share. We're going to have the link there so you can have that there. And SkillUp is committed to providing career growth for frontline workers to pivot into secure, stable industries. And the platform lists hundreds of free and low-cost training programs in a variety of fields. So these are flexible programs that are intended to be accessible and work around your schedule, and not the other way around. But it's understood that life happens, and joining a learning program is a commitment that may not fit into every situation, but SkillUp want to make sure that this information is accessible to you. So definitely check that out as well.
Thank you so much. Something I'd love to share that we're piloting at SkillUp. You just joined our group coaching that happens every other Wednesday. We are testing out a one-on-one career advising model. So it's a little bit different. So what happens is if you sign up, you're linked to a career advisor, so not a career coach, a career advisor in your local area that will assess your needs. And if your local area has local resources, they will connect you with those local resources. If there's something nationwide that would fit your needs, they'll connect you with those. For example, I'm in the Bay Area, so they may connect me with JVS is a heavily used resource in my area. They do like mock interviews, they do their own like career training. So I would love to share that with you. So I'm going to share the page. If you just sign up, if you're interested. I have too many windows open. Here it is. So if you scroll to the middle of the page where it says one-on-one career coaching, if you sign up, you'll get an email with more information, and you actually just call a number. There was an app that you had to go through a process, and we learned it was very lengthy. So if you just call the number, you'll get connected to someone Monday through Friday, usual business hours, like 9 to 5, and they can help you from there. And please email me if you have any questions. I'm happy to help.